Hi, all my Timberlake families. I am so excited about this summer. I don't know about you, but the weather here in New York has just been awesome. It's getting warmer, school's starting to kind of ease up a little bit, and the summer is right around the corner. I'm really excited to take this moment to describe a little bit about the drop off process at Timberlake this summer during our special edition summer. So this really will be a summer like no other, and our drop-off day is also going to look a little bit different. Now, my teacher brain likes to think of drop-off day in four distinct stages this summer. The time before you arrive at Timberlake, actually getting here, what does it mean when you leave us, and then what does the rest of the summer might look like for you and your camper. Starting off, let's talk about the pre-arrival to Timberlake. This really starts with preparing your camper for how drop-off day is going to look a little bit different. It is important to discuss with your camper that drop-off day will look different, especially for our returning campers. This means it's going to be short and sweet, no tours this time around. Goodbye will take place on the road, and counselors will be moving your camper in. Some campers will love this and won't be able to can't wait to get out of the car. Some might have a little bit of anxiety around it. So just having this conversation is helpful for everyone. When you arrive, you will be entering at the north entrance of Farmer Wilderness, and everything COVID related. So testing, quarantine, things like that will happen before you even enter Timberlake. You'll be staged there at the entrance, and the cars will be released to Timberlake in batches of 5. There will be families who are going to Indian Brook who will be passing through Timberlake as well. So be prepared for a little bit of wait at that point as we make sure we are getting cars in where we need them to go. Now, for many of you who I've had conversation with, this isn't news. We will be having drop-off times in order to help with the congestion. Timberlake will be able to handle 10 to 15 cars at any given time, and we're going to do our best to get families in and out. However, we do really appreciate your patience. This is the first time that we are drastically shifting drop-off day like this. In the next weekend or so, you will receive an email from me with a proposed drop-off time. These drop-off times will be based on how far you are coming and your camper's name, or camper's age, excuse me. So I'm trying to get campers here at roughly the same time so those cabins can start their adventures. If you're visiting Vermont prior to arriving to camp, so you're not actually coming from New York or Boston or DC or Philly, but you are coming from Vermont nearby, please make sure I know. I'll email these proposed times this weekend. If that time does not work for you, please let me know. And if you have campers who are being dropped off at multiple multiple camps, we will take that into consideration. Now, when you get to Timberlake, some of this is going to look very similar to our returners, and some of it will look a little bit different. The important part is that when you get here, our Trading Post Legends will still be in full swing. They're our camp band, and they will absolutely still be serenading us to welcome all of our families. When you arrive, you will be greeted at the entrance of Timberlake and be directed to a parking spot based on the lodge of your camper. So 9 and 10-year-olds are in First Lodge, 11 and 12-year-olds are in Big Lodge, 13, 14, and 15-year-olds will be in Senior Lodge. When you get to that parking spot, please do stay in your car. We will come to you, and porta potties will be available to families who need them. Our Kaibos will not be open to families on drop-off day. We will have porta potties. When you check in, there are 3 essential individuals, I guess 3.5, who will check in with you. We won't necessarily be in this order, but you will check in with myself and Atlas, whom I'll talk about in a moment. You'll check in with our nurse, and many of those forms will happen ahead of arriving to camp. So hopefully that is a very streamlined process. And one of the cabin counselors from your child's cabin will also spend some time chatting with you. Your camper and you will learn about your cabin assignment at drop-off. We are still working on the cabin assignment list. It is one of the biggest puzzles we do all summer, and we really want to make sure we put a lot of thought into that. And as always, or as a reminder, please stay in your car while you wait for us to greet you. Now, I'm very excited about who Atlas is. This is the newest member of my family. Atlas is a therapy dog in training, which means that she is training to go into schools with me. This has been a long time goal for me. She's about 3 months now. She's a female Samoyed puppy, and she will be pretty much tied to my hip all summer. We'll be following similar safety protocols with her as we do with all of our farm animals, which means it's very much trial by choice. If a camper would like to hang out with her, they're welcome to. If they're not, that's okay too. But she will be pretty much hanging out with me all summer as part of her training. She's really great so far with kids and toddlers and other dogs, and it's just really a very happy and affable puppy. Now, when your counselor comes up to the car, they'll be asking you a number of questions, and these are just some of the questions they'll be asking you. They will check in to see what kind of bedding that you are sending with your camper, so we make sure we can move them in well. We want to know, is there a bug net that we need to help set up for your camper? We'll ask how many bags, how many trunks, things like that that we need to keep track of. And is there anything in particular that you want displayed in the bunk? It could be a book, could be pictures, things like that. And lastly, anything of value. And again, nothing necessarily of high monetary value, but things you might want us to look out for, such as a camera, books, particular games, things like that. And there'll be other questions on our questionnaire as well at drop off. One thing is, let's talk about contraband. These are things that campers absolutely cannot have at camp. The first thing is candy or food of any kind. If any of that comes to camp, it will be confiscated, and we cannot guarantee that it will always make its way back. Critters and chipmunks are really rampant there, and they will absolutely eat through containers to get to that food. Nothing with a screen of any kind, so no phones, iPads, or Kindles, with the exception on a limited basis would be of cameras if that is coming through. No folding knives or Swiss Army knives. These are safety concerns, and it might be feels counterintuitive, but we have found that those closing blades are actually the thing that cause more issues for campers rather than a sheath. No fireworks, firearms, or weapons of any sort, and no super expensive trading cards, whether they're Pokemon or Magic or things like that. Please do not bring those to camp. Now, when you are done checking in with your counselor and with me and with Atlas and the nurse, you will be kindly asked to head out. So when that happens, you will say your goodbyes to your campers by your car. You will be unloading their bags for us. Then at that point, you can exit out and have your final hugs and goodbyes within arm's length of the car. And then counselors will grab those bags and guide their camper to their cabin in their special edition summer. After that, you will exit through F&W. The road will be one way that day, which means you will exit through the south entrance, a different entrance than where you entered. And you are going to be going through Indian Brook to exit our property. So there might be a little bit of traffic congestion around that area. They do have a little bit less parking than we do, so you might run into a little bit of congestion around there. Just be prepared for that. And we will have some sort of final F&W check right before you exit. How'd it go? How you doing? And kind of any last minute info drops we may have. Now, if you're a family with campers at multiple camps, listen up, because we are, as directors, going to be working with each other to find a drop-off time that works for everyone. Now, for the majority of campers, you will be dropping off at the Woodward camps first at TL and Indian Brook. If you have a camper at TL and IB, you'll drop off at TL first and then head over to IB. TL is usually the first stop for every family with campers in multiple camps. You'll drop off at the lower camps, the Woodward camps, before heading up to Nineveh if you have campers at Sam and Flying Cloud. Again, Woodward camps, IB and TL first, then the Nineveh camps, Sam and Flying Cloud. The only exception to this is if you have a group of campers and one is going to Questers and the other is a different camp, Questers will be their first drop off. So again, first will always be TL, with the exception of if they're in Questers, they will go there first. Now, looking ahead to this special edition summer, here's some pro tips and just things to be on the lookout for. The first thing is about communicating through this summer. I have been your main point of contact up to this point. Starting in about a month, your main point of contact will be the lodge director, who directly supervises your camper's cabin counselor. They will be your go-between between you and your camper and really help guide you and your camper through this summer. Letters are a primary source of contact between families and campers. There will be moments where we can print out an email if you want to send a letter that way. We'll take a picture of their letter and email it to you if there happens to be something going on in particular. Phone calls and Zoom calls are very rare and reserved for the most extreme cases. For knowing what's going on during the summer, I will be posting a new blog post every Wednesday, just kind of describing what's going on and what's coming up ahead. And there will be photos posted to our Smug Mug and Instagram often. Not necessarily daily, but often. Your Smug Mug access will be emailed to you. You will need a password to access the photos for this summer. And it seems so far away, but it will sneak up on us. On pickup day, this is also going to look different. We will have pickup times to minimize crowding. For returning families, there will not be silent meeting or songs, which is a big bummer, but I'm excited to have those back in 22. We'll still have some sort of lost and found walkthrough, so you can do one last check for all your kiddos' stuff. And these details will still be finalized, and that info will be coming at a different date. Our packing list is out. If you do not have one, please let me know. And some pro tips, label everything. You think you don't, please, please, please do. That helps our counselors help your camper keep up with their stuff. Bug nets are great. I don't think we're particularly buggy, but I do think they're really great for young campers to nest and really make their space their own. Mind no folding knives or Swiss Army knives of any kind, and label everything. So, some next steps. If you've not yet had an individual conversation with me, I will be reaching out over the next few days to schedule that. Please be on the lookout for an email regarding the proposed drop-off time and let me know if that time will or will not work for your family. In about a month, be on the lookout for an email from your camper's lodge director. Remind you, your main go between the summer will be the lodge director. And then any last minute requests of any kind, please email me, jared@farmandwilderness.org. We really can't wait to see you this TL Special Edition summer. I am very excited to have all of our campers with us this year. It's going to be really, really great. And I think we all really need camp. If you need anything at all, please let me know and look forward to seeing most of you on opening day.